and then we'll let everybody in. Okay, looks like we're live on YouTube. That's great. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna let everybody in. We got 33 in the waiting room. Do do do. Oh, and I'm gonna make you a co-host as well, Tad, just in case you want to be able to let folks into the room if you see people. We're gonna have a full house today. Always love when that happens. Welcome everybody to our second workshop. Okay, Tad, you are the man with the controls. Congratulations, you've been upgraded. Welcome, everyone. I'm just clicking the button while you are logging on. Share where on planet Earth you are logging in from. We would love to know. It's always nice to know where we're spread out around the world. And hopefully, everybody has worked on some signature workshops in the last week. Everybody get their, or not signature workshops, your origin stories. That's what we're doing. Everybody get some origin story stuff done. There was some beautiful examples in the newsletter yesterday, and I had even more submitted today. So, way to go on everybody doing the storytelling. We have all the corners of the planet being covered right now as I look through the chat. Welcome, everybody. Isn't it so fun that we can be from everywhere? Regina, I absolutely love that you're from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I mean, Chattanooga, just saying that is a fun thing to do. All right, so I'm going to press the good old record button, and we're going to officially get this party started. So everybody, hold on to your hats, get your notebooks ready to rock and roll, and away we go. Action! Welcome everybody to the summer series as we ramp up to the signature workshop training that Tad and I are leading this September. We have decided to put on a summer series that for all of you intending to do that journey from September to December, where you craft and tour your signature workshop as a way to market without social media, as a way to grow your audience, impact, income, and all the good things. We've put on these 6 workshops which essentially are going to prepare you for that. And even if you don't join us on that journey and decide to go your own way, you're still going to get a ton of value and tools from these workshops. I encourage you to have a document open today or a pen and paper ready to rock and roll so that you can take tons of notes and brainstorm. We're super grateful that you're taking the hour today to be with us. And today's purpose is to get clear on your niche and your topic for your signature workshop. 2 very important things, because if you don't get the audience that you're trying to reach with your signature workshop right, then that's going to cause some problems in your marketing, your messaging, and your delivery. And if you don't get the right topic, the entry point for when people are going to come into your world and be introduced to your work and have their first experience with you, if the topic isn't right, then you're also going to miss the mark. So if you can get the topic of the niche in alignment, then you're going to have a lot more success. And that is why we have Tad Hargrave here, who's going to lead the way, and I will be his faithful assistant. So, Tad, you can take it from here, and I will be waiting in the wings if you need me.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Good to have you here. As Bradley said, this is kind of a fundament. People think when they're creating any kind of a workshop that the most important thing is the marketing or the poster, but it's really the name. It's the what the hell is it called? What is the topic of it? What is it about? Is of course the fundamental thing. And my cred on this is I started marketing for hippies, let's say back in 2003. And since then, in the early days especially, I toured my signature workshop, which I was developing as I was going with it. And it was a 2 or 3 hour thing. It changed a lot. It took me about 5 years to hit one that I was really happy with. I didn't have a Bradley to help me design it. But also my sense of marketing, my understanding of marketing was still growing. But that's how I grew my business in the early days, was touring this, my kind of marketing for hippies 101 evening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off as I'm going to show you a bunch of examples of clear niches. Bradley's got some examples of clients and talks they've done and titles, just to start getting you thinking. But as I'm doing that, I want you to be thinking about the real issue here. The title comes from the niche. The title comes from who you're trying to reach. Once we know who you're trying to reach and what the issue is they're struggling with, then we have a chance of coming up with a title, and we can wordsmith them. Fundamentally, this is about who is this for, and what are you talking about in it? So the very first thing, while I'm walking you through this, is in 280 characters. That's about the size of a tweet. What I'd like you to do is to articulate who this is that you're trying to reach with this signature workshop. Now, sometimes this can get a little confusing. So what I invite you to do is to think about whatever your premium offer is, your highest end offer. I'd be thinking about that person. Yeah, because that's the person you want to be marketing to early on. Speak to your ideal client, the person who's going to be signing up for ideally the higher end things, because people will join who aren't that. That's fine. You notice a horoscope doesn't have to be 100% accurate for you to focus on the one bit that is accurate. So same with your write-up of your niche. There will be people who are not a bullseye, but one ring out, two rings out. It's fine. You still make money from that, but we want to aim at the bullseye. So I invite you to think about, ultimately, who do you want? Who's your perfect client? Ideal client, what I mean by that is somebody who lights you up and brings out your best. Those two things are true, we're pretty good. But you do it in 280 characters. And what I want to see in that write-up is we're going to have here's a simple format. I work with blank kinds of people struggling with blank problem, symptom. Let's just call it symptom. And I help them to blank. So that's the result. So this is, as we're going through this is what I want you to work on. And when we say go, we're going to invite you to post that in the chat, and we're just going to go through and we'll give comments on as many as we can. And then, this will help you maybe get a sense of it for yourself. So don't do it yet, but start to work on this. And now I'm going to do a little screen share, and I'm going to show you some examples of great case studies. So a lot of these folks are actually in my membership, but not all. Oops, not all. Okay. This is a guy named Jeff. And divorce is war, survival isn't guaranteed. You're a dad who's ready to build a post-divorce life his kids will admire, but you're not sure how to start. Yeah, that's a very clear niche. You know if you're in that niche or not. Yeah, so he could do a signature workshop on this topic, easy. What would he call it? I don't know. But it could be called the Divorce Daddy 101. It could be called we could all come up with names for this that would be catchy. But the point of the name is not to be clever. This is so important. Don't try to be clever with your name. Be obvious. This is an old improv comedy rule. I did improv comedy for 25 years. And it's really painful to watch people trying to be clever. And you're also working way harder than you need to. I remember we did a scene in improv where, so what's the name of a story that's never been written? 3 dead men in a boat. So the lights went down, and when the lights came up, three of us were lying dead on the stage. The lights went down. That was the entire scene. And the audience roared. Why? Because it was the most obvious thing. When we're going for the name, go for something obvious. Don't make people guess. And what do you mean by this? Okay, so that's a really clear niche. What happened to us? That could be a great name for a workshop. What happened to us? Therapeutic coaching for couples in crisis, right? And this can be an interesting way to niche or to title something is you think, what's the phrase my people would say when they're in the pits of despair, when they're at that low point? What do they say to themselves in that specific situation? Yeah. So this is one example. Alex Baisley, he does stuff. His I like this, figuring out. Well, he's got a workshop called, what is it? What the fuck am I doing with my life? All right. But that comes from this. You can see this. An impromptu wander around my kitchen, invitation to check on my big dream program. If the topic of life, purpose, life direction, finding your calling, or put more simply, figuring out what the sweet holy fuck am I doing next in my life is a big question for you these days. This program is about that. That's a very clear niche, but he called his workshop for years, yeah, what the blank am I doing with my life? That's a great name for a workshop that really says what it is and says it again in the phrase that they would say to themselves. Nisanka, are you parenting with a narcissistic partner or ex? I mean, that's a title for a signature workshop. You could just have a question. Are you this? Are you in this situation? But it could also be how to parent with a narcissistic partner or ex. Parenting with a narcissistic partner or ex 101. Parenting with a narcissist 101. Yeah, you get the idea. But the main thing is it's easy for me to riff on it because the niche is clear. So then what do we call, by the way, what do we call it? Well, you could test various things. You could do Facebook ads on this. You could just shop it around and see what gets the most response. You could send an email with two different titles, do a split test and see which one gets open more. There's a lot of ways to test this to see even which title works better. But the title is not as important as the topic. You know what I'm saying? Like the title doesn't matter as much as the niche. If we've got the niche, then we can take it, further. Yeah, from Larissa Noonan. Want to be a witchy healer, but grew up in a fundamentalist home or culture. Support for the aspiring and closet good witches, heathens, and elders in training recovering from a fucked up childhood. Yeah. So it could be the witchy healer workshop. Could be, I'm sure you can come up with your own examples, but this headline is not bad. You could just use that question as a title if you needed to. Or you could come up with a title above that. Yeah. I love this one. All right. Why is running my clinic running me to the ground? Great title for a signature workshop. Again, that's a question. But you could call it the sustainable clinic workshop masterclass. And then this could be the headline to it. So, are you a poor sleeper? This is from Hillary with asleepatlast.com. But Asleep at Last 101. Asleep at Last Masterclass. The Beat Insomnia Masterclass. All sorts of ways to do it. Oh, we got that again. I love this. What a hell of a niche. Life coach for Enneagram sixes. Talk about your niches. Yeah. But it could be like, yeah, how to succeed at life as an Enneagram 6 or something like this workshop. I think that's it. Okay. So I'll stop sharing. Bradley, do you want to share what you've got?
Yes, I will pull up a handful here. Okay, so these were a bunch that we've worked with. So these were people. Can you see my screen here?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, perfect. So this one, Bill from Livestream Business, he came to Salt Spring Island, and this was one of the projects we worked with while we were on a retreat. So this is his signature workshop, the Price is Right workshop, making peace with making money. So this is a pricing workshop that he takes people through to find the pricing sweet spot with their products or services. This one, another client project, Living Your Soul's Yes. So this one's around discover the path to true alignment with your authentic self to find your soul's true calling. And you stop me anytime if you want to riff on anything, Tad.
Sure.
This is a client here, the Sing to Thrive experience, music as a path to heal and transform. Another client, instinctive meditation masterclass, awaken your senses, experience deep relaxation, fall in love with life. These were Magic Mind participants. Reconnect your relationship, a free workshop for conscious couples desiring reconnection and renewed passion. Reclaim your voice, throat singing, and vocal activations. This is one of the participants from last year. I think the rest are all people that joined our signature workshop training last year. Paulo and the Magic Mind, unleash the Greenland paddle, uncover the 3 nearly lost Inuit secrets so that you avoid paddling related injuries and navigate confidently into your golden years as a skilled sea adventurer. Speak the work you love, storytelling for businesses with soul. Another Magic Mind member who did the training last year. Stephanie, how to grow a business that feels good and does good. From winging it to blinging it, 6 ways to unshame and reclaim your finances. Resisting normal to find your truth. Keys to living a life of self-empowerment. Breaking all the rules, transform your life through the power of play. Declutter and make a tidy profit, free live 60-minute workshop. So make a tidy profit, decluttering and selling on Poshmark with Katie, Color Maiden. And transform your inner voice, awareness, release, thrive, stop the voice in your head, unlock the power within. So those are a handful of different workshops that came through the training last year, or some of the work that we've been doing this year.
Fantastic. Thank you. So as you can see, there's various levels of kind of how honed and how clear these things are. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just start going in a direction and you make clarified as you go. I mean, it genuinely took me 5 years to hone by myself with no support to hone what my signature workshop was. And that was really all on my own. I should have asked for help, but I never did. I didn't know who to ask. I didn't have somebody like Bradley. I didn't have other marketing coaches back then. I was kind of one of the early forerunners of this, so I had to figure it out. But it wasn't perfect, but it got me clients. It got people into my weekend workshops. These things don't have to be exactly right, but your chances are much better if your niche is clear. So I see some people have already posted. So for those of you who are just joining, who didn't hear me, this is the formula I'm posting in the chat now that I would like you to fill in the blanks in 280 characters or less, about the size of a tweet. So I work with blank kind of people struggling with blank symptom, and I help them to get blank results. So let me just scroll up here. And now I see Simon and Ernie posted, what if the ideal client isn't struggling? Okay, so here's the thing. Your ideal client is on island A. There are some symptoms they have, and they want to be on island B where there's some results. In some cases, island B, the result they're craving is the thing. That's what's most real for them. It's not that they're in desperate pain. It's just that they desperately want this result. Whether it's the result or the symptom, it doesn't matter so much. What matters is that either there's something they don't want or there's something they do want. And if there's neither, that's not an ideal client, just by definition. Okay, so what's going to happen now is I'm going to go through and Bradley and I will comment. I'll give some thoughts, Bradley, throw in if you got anything on this. But we'll just give commentary as we go. So we won't be able to get through everyone's, of course, but we'll get through as many as we can in the next 32 minutes. And you'll leave with a bit of a tighter understanding of anyways, the rest of the time. You're going to leave with a clear understanding of how this works. The feedback we give to one will almost certainly apply to others. Okay, so Jean said, I work with postnatal women who are healing their bodies and bonding with their child. I solve this by providing healthy Ayurvedic food to regain their health. Beautiful. That's a very clear niche. I get here's what's really good about that niche is Jean's gotten a situation. right? This is something you could literally draw a doodle of. You could draw that out. I get the image in my mind. I can see the scene. I can see the moment in the story. Ah, yeah, they just had a baby and they're bonding and great. Okay, so this is what it's about. So coming up with the title, that's not a problem. Once we have the core, now we're just, again, wordsmithing. Now we're brainstorming. If Bradley and I give you a thumbs up on this, just the thing I would start doing is start, and you can put it in the chat if you want. No, I don't know if we'll be able to get to it. But I want you to come up with, as homework, 25 potential names for the workshop. You'll come up with the first few, and then you'll be stymied. Just keep going. Keep thinking, what else could I call it? What would be a really interesting, catchy name that would be easy to understand, easy to remember? What could I call this? It would really nail what this is about in as few words as possible. I remember one of my favorites, oh gosh, what was his name? Max Simon. He had a website called Sold Out Seminars. What a fucking great name. 3 words. He nails it. Sold Out Seminar. You know exactly what he's talking about. Yeah. So this is good. Any thoughts, Bradley?
That one passes the test for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gene, just start working on titles that you can
Yeah.
call. Rebecca said, I work with singles struggling with chronic dating and I help them reset their person picker. I think we were speaking the other day. Right. Okay. So there's probably a better way to say that instead of struggling with chronic dating, you're probably suffering from the limits of the formulation I gave, but I get the idea. They're single, they're dating, and the dating is not working out for them. And but that's a heck of a name. I like that. Reset your person picker. A masterclass for chronic daters. Or for people feeling helpless and frustrated with chronic dating or something like that.
I love the person picker. I think the person picker is a really fun way to like say find a mate. Like wordplay it can be very fun once you've kind of narrowed down on the niche and the topic. That's where the playful part of being creative with it could come.
Exactly. Yeah. Once you're clear, now you can be clever, but don't start with clever. I mean, go for obvious above all.
Yeah.
But if you've really got it clear, then okay, you might be able to do something clever that's interesting now, but doesn't sacrifice the clarity. Okay. Um, Amy said, I help beginning to blend couples prepare for and overcome the challenges of parenting and step family life. Great. That's a very clear, yeah, that's a very clear situation again. So, Amy, next step, start brainstorming titles. 25 potential things you could call the workshop. Daniel said, I work with people in transition who want to engage with their creativity and they're struggling with experiencing life as an adventure. Okay, so there's a little bit of feedback on this one. So I work with people in transition. So people in transition is code for everyone who's ever lived because everything in life is a transition. Life is a series of transitions. So we want to know what type of transition. And there's 2 ways you can go. One is you can define the type of transition, like it's a transition that has left you in this state, a transition that has these adjectives to it, a transition that is, something like that. Or you can name a specific transition like divorce, and yeah, or empty nesting or retirement, whatever that transition is. So you could pick one, or you could say, I work with people in transitions such as boom, 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 and give 3 that are the clearest mosaic of it. But there's just more clarity needed because people in transition is genuinely everyone. So then, who want to engage with their creativity. Okay, I don't know exactly what that means. What do you mean by engage with their creativity? Why would they want to engage with their creativity? I don't think many people will come to a coach and say, I really want to engage with my creativity. I don't know if that's their wording. And then struggling with experiencing life as an adventure, that might be what you want for them. That might be what you think they need. but my guess is they're not struggling with that. They might be. My question is, okay, so they want to engage with their creativity. Yeah, they should take up some crafts. Why do they need you? And it's not a rhetorical question. Why do they need you? Your answer to that is their issue. Because it's a sincere question. Okay, they want to be more creative in their life. What they should, great, go do that. That'll be $100. Thanks for coming to my coaching session, But wait, no, no, no. But I can't just do it. Why can't you just do it? Well, because blank. Aha, that's Island A. That's the problem. That's the symptom. Right? If they're really craving being creative, and I just question whether it is that they are actually wanting to be creative. All right, Maggie said, I work with mission-driven solopreneurs new to business who are struggling with startup fundamentals. I help them build their business model in a values-aligned way. Beautiful. Okay, so mission-driven solopreneurs, get the idea. New to business. I might say new to business like within their first year, 2 years, 3 years. I might define that a bit more. We're struggling with startup fundamentals. Okay, my guess is that's your diagnosis of what's going on, right? They're not coming to you saying, I'm struggling with the startup fundamentals. They've probably never said that in that way. But what might be true is, okay, the way to dig into this is if somebody is struggling with startup fundamentals, what are the symptoms of that? So what? Okay, so what happens if you don't have the fundamentals down as a startup? So it might be more like they're feeling completely overwhelmed with their businesses, and they don't know what to do next. They don't know what to do first, that kind of thing. And then I help them build their business model in a values aligned way. Okay, so this is interesting. So we're going to the boat, not just Island A and B, but what I help them do is build their business model. But what that says to me is Island A is something about the lack of a business model that's values aligned. So then I find myself wondering, if somebody doesn't have a really good business model that's values aligned, what happens? What are the symptoms of that? What are the problems that this creates? One thing I would guess is they're getting burned out. They've hit a point where they're just, burning out on their business and they don't know what to do next. Okay, well, then I help them, build their business model in values aligned way so that everything becomes easier or something like that. Generally, I get it. I would just wordsmith it a bit. Okay, Jenny said, I work with child-free women struggling to connect with their pet, and I help them resolve health and behavior issues. Okay, generally pretty clear, right? So they don't have kids, so their pet is their kid, but they're having a hard time connecting with their pet. Yeah, I mean, you could just stop there. I think that's fairly clear. I help them resolve health and behavior issues. I imagine that's the health issues in the pet and behavior issues in the pet. Yeah, generally, I would say that's clear enough. I mean, connect with your pet, or connecting with a problem pet. Something like that could be the name of it. Joy said, I work with these are great niches, by the way. Normally, it's not this many strong niches in a row. So nice work. You've obviously been working on this out there. Joy said, I work with ADHD people with big and often many dreams struggling to make progress on their dreams, and I help them to make those dreams a reality in a way that feels good, fun for their brains. Okay. One is I wouldn't use the word dreams 3 times in a row, but okay, so they're working on all these big dreams, but they're spinning so many plates, they're not making a lot of progress. And so none of them are actually come to fruition. And you help them kind of take it to the hoop. That's great. I think that's fairly clear. Again, what do you call it? That's the homework. 25 names. What could you call this that they would, resonate with? I think Bradley is.
And just so people know, I'm helping to spark some creativity here. I'm over in the chat with these ones, and I'm using my friendly robot right now to just get like a little kickstart on coming up with name ideas. It can be a helpful brainstorming tool to just like start seeing words in different orders so that you can start to flesh it out to get some cogs going. So I'm trying to do that for as many as I can here while we're riffing on this, while still paying attention to what Tad's talking about in these.
Thank you, Brad. Yeah, we just got to get started. It's important to not, we can get locked into just one version. Keep iterating because sometimes it'll be the 20th one. That's when it clicks. Oh, I could call it this. Right. This is a better way to say it. Yeah. Keep mixing it up. All right. Barb said, are you falling apart inside boundaries for professional women who are self-neglecting overgivers? Boom. I get it. Very clear. Rebecca said, I work with creative writers struggling with self-doubt, procrastination, and overwhelm. I help tame their inner critic, finish their projects, and love writing again. You're so good, Rebecca. That's great. Again, 25. See how many of these titles you can come up with. I'm hoping you'll start to hear the difference between what's clear and what's not clear. Yeah, as we go. Okay, Tasha said, I work with midlife women struggling with the impact of bullying and help them claim their self-worth, joy, and love they feel has been taken from them. Okay. So I find myself curious if the midlife women, if this is bullying now or if this is bullying from their childhood. That's the only thing I'm not sure about, but very clear. Otherwise, yeah, you get bullied and just really does a number on your self-esteem. Beautiful. Rochelle, I work with change makers who are struggling to organize their time and content so they can write their first book. I help them find the ideal template so that they can easily write a book that will appeal to their readers. Great. So the only quibble I'd have is change makers. I call mine, I don't know, hippie entrepreneurs. It's not great. Conscious entrepreneurs. None of these are really great. It's just good to know it's more useful for us. Almost nobody self-identifies as a hippie entrepreneur or a change maker or a conscious entrepreneur. Nobody walks around calling themselves that. So it's just good to hold that lightly, that that's probably not the strongest thing. But I get the sense from change makers that they're probably trying to write a particular type of book. I'm curious if it's fiction or nonfiction. I get the implication from this that it's a nonfiction book. Maybe it doesn't matter. Right, but the real issue is they're struggling to organize their time and content so that they can write their first book. Yeah, this sounds like a nonfiction book. Yeah, generally pretty clear. Struggling to organize, yeah, okay, yeah, that's clear. Keep rolling, keep coming up with ideas. And if I've already gone over yours and give it a thumbs up, I hope you are currently right now coming up with other versions and titles for this. Hannah said, are you a tired healthcare professional or academic? I help people who care to feel alive and at least at ease by connecting with their bodies and nature. So, okay, a tired healthcare professional or academic, boom. You know if you're that or not. I wonder, is it tired or is it exhausted, depleted? You know, maybe there's burned out. Is tired the best word? Maybe. I help people who can't. Here's my question. The little pushback I give is, what's the breaking point for them? There's probably a point where people can be tired for years before they get any help. But then something happens where they say, I got to do something. So what's that point? That would be my curiosity. So I help people who care. I would cut that, the people who care. I think you've already named who it is. But I help them to feel alive and at ease by connecting with their bodies and nature. Okay, that gets into point of view, which is interesting because they may be drawn to that, the body and nature. But that's a bit of your point of view. So, but if they connected with their bodies and nature, what would they get? I mean, are they coming to you saying, I want to feel alive again. I want to feel at ease. Is that how they say it? That's my big question. How do they say it? If you were to ask, here's a question. If you were to talk to your ideal client and you were to say, look, I've got a magic wand. And when I wave this magic wand, Papa, I can solve any problem you have and give you any result you want. But it's like the genie in a bottle. It's not three wishes, you get three words to articulate your problem. So you might say, my problem, really bad acne. Okay, that's three words. Now what's the result you want? Visibly clearer skin. Ding. What's the problem you have? Not enough clients. What do you want? More better clients. Ding, that could be the result. So the question is, if you were to ask them to articulate what's the problem in three words and them to articulate what's the result they want, in this case, would they say, I want to feel more alive? Maybe. Would they want to say, I want to feel more at ease? Maybe. I doubt it on the more at ease thing in particular. Okay. Okay, Hillary has actually got a website somewhere. Okay, let me just do a quick screen share and we can see how this looks. Okay, so summer creative sizzle, how to spark your creative fire. Are you ready to ignite your creative spark and sizzle this summer? Don't worry if inspiration seems fleeting, because with support, you'll learn to light that fire within you. Get ready to unleash your joy and let your imagination run wild. It's okay. I just, generally with the creativity, it may be because I'm not in this market, so I'll say that. It doesn't totally speak to me. It doesn't completely make sense to me. Being creative for what purpose, or in what medium are we talking? Creativity to what end? Is this just for fun? Just to be creative? So it may just, again, it may be that I'm not in that scene, but I don't know exactly who it's for. Is this for artists? Is this for soccer moms sitting at home? Is this for, who is this for in particular? Because this workshop seems like it's the boat. We've got the boat of creativity, but I don't know who it's for. I don't exactly know what the problem is, other than igniting the creative spark. What's stopping them? Who is it? Those are my questions that I would have. So I lost my place here. Okay, Candace said, I work with mid-career law firm owners. That is fucking specific. Amazing. Beginning to worry they won't get enough value from their practice to work less or retire. Uh-huh. So that's very clear. Boom. Just start working on the topic title. Yeah. Now, let's pause a minute, because we're getting the juices flowing. But when we're doing the signature workshop, there are two approaches you could take. One is, here's the 30,000-foot view, just here's my point of view. The other one can be, you pick a very specific problem. They have one specific aspect of the issue, of the whole process, and you do a workshop on that. Like, what's the thing they're struggling with the most at the very beginning of their journey? So in this case, they're worried they won't get enough value from their practice to work less or retire. So it could be like an evaluate your practice. It could focus on just, here's how to evaluate. You say, look, there's more to it than this. There's multiple steps, but here's a little intro workshop on step number one. But in the workshop, you can lay out the other steps. So just to know, that is another way you can do a signature workshop. Focus on one particular, so like I might do, my signature workshop is kind of 30,000-foot view, but I could do, and I may do, a workshop on just ethics, even though niching point of view business model hubs come after that in my model. I could do a workshop just about ethics. Yeah, I could do one just about niching, and I have done. And then I just make sure they know there's more to the story than just niching.
Yeah, and I'll also say it's like, I didn't intend to do a signature workshop called Thriving in Business Without Social Media. It was you, Tad, that invited me to come do a talk on that, and I put some time into it, and it turned out to be very popular. I think we had like 1,100 people sign up the first time. And I was like, okay, this is clearly wanted and needed. And so that's what I've been touring for the last year and a half. And we've had a lot of people who've done that workshop 30 times. Um, and as you can see, like the title is really clear, Thriving in Business Without Social Media. The workshop I'm working on right now in my spare time is more around the idea of turning your life's work into a work of art. You know, how do we make magic on the internet? And so I just wanted to add that um, it was just not part of the plan. It's just sort of unfolded as something that was clearly wanted and needed.
Right. Yeah. And what Bradley just said is a great prompt for a title. How to blank without blank. How to beat depression without meds. How to lose weight without starving yourself. How to gain muscle without being in the gym 5 hours a day. How to blank without blank. So that's one template that you can use for articulating what you do. There's also that's the without frame. There's also the within frame. How you can achieve blank result within blank parameters, within blank hours a day, within blank amount of time, within blank months, within um, blank budget. How to do this with $5 a day, within that range. There's the even if frame, how to achieve this result, even if, or how to deal with this symptom, even if you've tried everything, even if, your doctors have told you it's hopeless, even if, uh, how to start dating again, even if your ex told you you were terrible or something, you can have the even if, the thing that would stop people. That's another way you can consider the titling. There's the whether or not frame, how to achieve this result, whether or not you have, yeah. And then there's the how do they talk to themselves? What do they say to themselves as the title for a workshop too. All right. Molly said, I work with spiritual nonprofit and governmental leaders struggling to navigate a career transition. I help them to recenter, release limiting beliefs, and create a map for the way forward. So the thing I find myself wondering about here is, are they transitioning within the nonprofit government world to just a different job, or are they getting out of that field entirely into something else? I'm just curious a bit more about the nature of the transition itself, but generally great. Okay, Bree said, feeling these are, I can't even believe how many good niches there are. Normally, I'm spending way more time. I wouldn't get this far because I'd be commenting on everybody's.
Your teachings must be working.
I guess, or yours. I don't know who these people are. Bree said, feeling lost in your established business. We're your remote wingman handling social media, websites, courses, content, emails, so you can crush your goals with laser focused plan. Boom. Yeah, lost. I wonder if it's lost, confused, overwhelmed. My sense is it's maybe more overwhelmed than lost. Um, yeah, but great, very clear. Leslie said, I work with people who struggle with overthinking, burnout, and ADHD. I help them better understand themselves, clear their minds, and create a life of balance and freedom. Right. Yeah, it's clear enough. By the way, I have the 70% rule. If your niche is 70% clear, start doing stuff. The way you get it 100% clear is by doing stuff. If you try to get it from 70 to 100% clear in here, this is where crazy happens. Don't get lost in here forever. Go out and try things, have a conversation with the marketplace, put something out, see how it works. You can date your niche. You don't have to marry your niche right away. Do a lot of little tests and just see how it lands with people.
ABC, always be creating.
That's great. And here we have somebody saying, hey, to the last one about ADHD. Hey, do you have a website? I'm interested in your work. Good sign of a good niche. Simon Arini said, I work with deep thinking souls who want to deepen their intuition. I help them explore new inner navigational sound and voice therapy tools with a twist. Okay. So deep thinking souls want to deepen their intuition. Okay, generally, I get it. I help them explore new inner navigational sound and voice therapy tools with a twist. That second part seems disconnected to me a little bit than with the first. I want to deepen my intuition, and now we're talking about sound and voice therapy tools. And I just don't see the connection immediately. I don't totally get it. So um, again, so if somebody came to you, if somebody came to me and they say, I want to deepen my intuition, I just say, yeah, that's an important thing. Go do that. Again, that advice is not that helpful because they'll say, but wait, no, I mean, I've tried. Well, try harder. Yeah, there you go. That'd be $100. But they say, but, I say, what's your problem? Well, if it were so easy, why is it so hard? Well, because this, blah. And then they say the thing that's actually stopping them from developing their intuition. That's what I find myself curious about. Because I'm not interested in, that's the boat. New navigational sound and voice therapy tools for the twist. That's the boat from A to B, but that's not A or B. And I think we just want to be wary in the title of getting into the boat too soon, unless we know for a fact that the boat is something that people are craving. For example, how to do ceremony work, how to do a grief ritual or something. Okay, well, then that's a boat people are interested in. How to, maybe they're interested in yoga and nature connection and traditional skills. And there's a buzz about that. So they're interested. Okay, put it in. But I just wonder if somebody's saying, I'm really looking for sound and voice therapy tools with a twist, or even sound and voice therapy tools. I don't know if they would say that. What they're craving is what they think that will give them, which is the deepened intuition. So I see who it is, deep thinking souls, okay, who want to deepen their intuition. That's island B. That's what they're craving. But I still don't know what island A is. It's not mandatory, but I find myself curious. Marie said, I work with independently owned business, struggling with competing with mega corporations. Okay, so then this is great. I mean, first of all, thank you for doing that. And I find myself wondering, is this retail? Is this a mom and pop shop? So I might say, I work with independently owned businesses such as boom, 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 and name the top 3 examples because I don't know exactly what you mean by that. And that fuzziness, everyone might want to write this down. The confused mind says no. The confused mind says no. If they are confused, it's over. It stops. So if I see independently owned business and I don't know exactly what that is, yeah, is this local business? Is this on the internet? Is this Etsy crafters? I don't know. So I'd love to see the top 3 examples, right? Competing with mega corporations. Yeah, beautiful. So I think you could still add an island B. I mean, maybe it's just, I'm going to help you compete with them, but I'm going to help you compete with them so that ... So that what? So that you make more money with more ease, so that you don't get crushed by Amazon, so that you can flip the bird to Amazon as you make your way to the bank with with all your money. I don't know what to say, but what's the result they're craving? What's the picture they really want? Yeah. Okay, Sage said, I work with poets struggling to improve their craft. I help them polish and publish their poems and collections. Boom. Publish your poetry. I mean, there's your signature workshop title. Or profitably publish your poetry. Publish your poetry and profit. I mean, something like that is probably what you're looking for.
That's poetic. Get those peas all bundled together. It'll sound great.
That's right. I'm a poet and I don't even realize the fact. Bree said, okay, well, you already got you, Bree. Tony said, I work with smart technical people, geeks, struggling with the transition from individual contributor to effective leader, and I help them discover and lean into their natural leadership style. I generally get it. That's great. Yeah, I know who that is. Right? They've just been a kind of, right, somebody on the team. Now they're leading a team. Perfect. That's great. This may be more than would fit into here, but I do find myself curious. What's their biggest fear? What stops them in particular? Like, how do they have trouble with it? Great. I get it. That's the most important thing. Again, I just need to get it. If I can get the basic premise, we're good to go. We can tinker with the exact verbiage of it as we go. That can keep improving and shifting. The most important thing is having a good idea. I would rather have a really clear concept with shitty copy to it than a bad concept with really nice copy. You can't put lipstick on a pig and just, it don't work. Uh, in Alberta, there's the phrase, all hat and no cattle. Yeah, for somebody who pretends they're some kind of country person and, oh yeah, I'm on a ranch and I'm a rancher, and but they just live in the city and they just wear a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. And we don't want to do that with our marketing. We don't want to have it be all hat, no cattle. More important, that you get the substance. Okay, Yolanda said, I work with literary writers struggling with overwhelm from grant applications. I help them put together a strong grant application with lots of support. Shazam! 100%. This is, I feel like I'm being punked somehow. There's just so many good niches. I'm good at coaching people on their niches, but you're not getting to see it. So somebody give me something shitty. But this is great. Okay, so Sean said, I work with emerging songwriters struggling with how to express their inner emotions musically, and I help them to find their flow and craft songs that deeply touch their listeners' hearts. Yeah, beautiful, very clear. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I mean, I might cut out find their flow just because flow isn't in the island A part. Just I help them craft songs that deeply touch listeners' hearts. Yeah, something like that. Beautiful. Myra said, I work with people with cancer to gain confidence and ease with nutrition, lifestyle, and food choices on the path to health and recovery. So, Nichelle, I work with writers who are struggling to find direction and to finish their novel, and I help them with structure, accountability, and deep story knowledge so they can write a book that people actually want to read. Very clear. Okay, so this is one thing I would say. I mean, that's really good. And the thing I would invite you all to consider is if you're in a field that has a lot of people offering the same thing, like I get down to the harbor and I say, I'm an author, I'm looking for help writing a book. And they point me to a part of the harbor and there's 600 boats there. You see the problem. I'm like, oh shit, I want to lose weight. Gestures broadly at the entire health industry. So there's lots of people. So something in this niche, it's a good idea. I'd love to see something that distinguishes Nichelle from other book coaches. Yeah. Now that could be the genre of book. It can be the length of book. It could be how fast they want to write the book. It could be it's your first book. It could be you. This is at least your third book. It could be. I mean,
We,
those are just examples.
I had a client who he launched a writer's room community, and his promise was to write their book in 90 days. So he built a whole process around the 90 days. So if you add the timeline to it, then that can be make it that much clearer and more impactful.
Thank you. Yes, right. How to achieve this result within 90 days. Yeah, so that's the within frame. That can make a result so much. It can take a headline that's okay and make it amazing. Like how to get rid of your allergies. Wow, that's nice. How to get rid of your allergies in 9 days. What? In 6 sessions. That's amazing. That's a much more compelling pitch for sure. All right, Diane said, I work with women who are retired or almost retired who are struggling to find meaning and purpose. And I help them find their starting place to return to themselves. Okay, so I get the general idea, and the Island A and Island B feel a little out of alignment. So Island A and Island B need to be mirror images, opposites of each other. And sometimes what happens is you get Island A and then Island B goes in a different direction. So what I hear is, okay, so they're retired or almost retired, and they're struggling to find meaning and purpose. Okay, so looking for some sense of meaning in their life and purpose. and I help them find a starting place to return to themselves. But I don't see the connection between meaning and purpose and returning to myself. You know, if it was, if we go with returning ourselves, I can see I work with women who are retired or almost retired who feel very disconnected from themselves to return to themselves, or they're struggling to find meaning and purpose. And I help them create a starting place for a plan for what's next in their life, or create a project that's meaningful within 30 days, within 90 days, something like that. So I just would like to see a bit more alignment because I'm not sure if the real thing is that their symptom is they're feeling disconnected from themselves, or if the symptom is more that they're just, what do I do with my life? Those are slightly different, and it'd be good to hone which it is. Okay, and Kate, and then I think we're just going to start the wrap up process. My gosh, there's so many. Thank you, everybody who's contributed. Kate said, I work with previously passionate, soulful, and expressive humans who've lost their spark and are pushing back against the fear they're broken forever. I help them refine their rhythm of aliveness for themselves, their loved ones, and a re-indigenized wider culture. Beautiful. Yeah, generally I get it. It's interesting. This is a good example of point of view being woven into the niche in a way that works. That phrase and a re-indigenized wider culture immediately filters a bunch of people. So there'll be a lot of people who have no idea what you're talking about. And then there'll be people who just, oh, this is somebody I want to learn from because they use that phrase re-indigenized. That's going to mean something to them. So that's a good example of when the point of view or boat gets woven in such a way that it clarifies things instead of confuses things. And I get it, right? You used to be so passionate and soulful, and something happened, and now you're just sort of dead inside, and you think this is just it forever. And no, it doesn't have to be that way. We're going to help you find this. Um, yeah. So beautiful. Let's pause there. So we got to wrap up. Promise to be done in a tight hour. So in the chat, I would love to hear from people. What was your biggest aha or insight? And as that's going, we'll just do the shameless plug for this course that we've got. So this September, if you're interested in learning how to craft a signature workshop based on this niche, you know, you've got most of them, you can just start with this niche and it's great. But if you're wanting help in how do I actually turn this into a signature workshop and tour it and have this get me clients, this is what we've got coming up this September. So yeah, start getting your perfect fit clients by crafting and touring a signature workshop in 90 days, guaranteed. Bradley and I independently realized this signature workshop, the intro workshop, is the best tool there is for a service provider in particular. Bradley, what do you want to say about this?
All I gotta say is I wish I would have been doing this 20 years ago when I started my first business and got into this game because it has been the easiest, most scalable marketing strategy to grow my list. As I said, I've done the same workshop, my thriving in business without social media, which many of you have probably come to or heard about. So this is it here. It's a simple landing page. I literally just duplicate it every time. I find other hosts to host my workshop for their audience. They send traffic to my page. I collect the emails. Like last week we had one and my list grew by almost 500 people. The week before that I had about 300 people join my list as a result of one of these. Got one coming up July 19th, another September 5th. There's other people that are booking me for the fall. And it's the same workshop. I just try to make this the best workshop experience I possibly can. And then at the end of it, have a call to adventure. And right now, the call to adventure is oftentimes either my Magic Mind or the Craft into Your Signature Workshop training. But for all of you out there, you know, your signature workshop is like the way I would describe it is the signature workshop is the bottom of the mountain. So if you lead people up a mountain and the top of the mountain is the ultimate transformation that you facilitate with your life's work, and it's where you're taking people. If they were to come on a journey with you for, say, the next year or 2 years or 3 years, and go through all your programs and your coaching processes. At the top of the mountain is that end result that you're leading people towards. And the bottom of the mountain is your base camp. Your signature workshop is like base camp. It's like there's all these different trails that lead to your signature workshop, which might be social media, it might be these types of hosts, partnerships, it could be your blog, it could be your YouTube channel. All these different places lead to a signature workshop. Your signature workshop is this 60-minute professional, tightly delivered experience where you're going to share your story that creates a connection and resonance. You're going to ground people into your unique philosophy, or as Tad says it, which is the theme of the next workshop, your unique point of view. You're going to facilitate their first experience. So you're going to actually help them get a result. You're going to help them have some form of shift, whether it is an insight or it's actually a big breakthrough. And then you're going to call them to adventure and invite them into whatever the next step might be. So I just wanted to lay that out. This is the easiest, most scalable strategy. And we give you all the templates and coaching that you'll need to craft something amazing. How do you deliver the presentation so that it's creative and engaging for people to want to stick around the full 60 minutes? And how do you do the outreach emails? How do you build a hub list of people to host you? How do you actually deliver it in a way that people are stoked? And so you're actually going to deliver your workshop live for whoever wants to show up to it, whether it's your audience, your friends, your family, or people who are in the actual training. And then we'll give you all the templates for email outreach, setting up your media page so you can make it really plug and play and highly scalable. And basically, you'll be taking your signature workshop on tour for all of 2025. That is honestly the only marketing strategy you really need if you are a coach, if you're a teacher, if you're a creator, if you're delivering online content and doing online workshops. And in my opinion, you teaching is your very best marketing strategy. And that is exactly what this does. So hopefully that's clear for folks that are unclear about this. All the information is on the page. And if you're still unclear after you read the whole page and watch the video, feel free to just reach out to me with an email and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. And we've been doing this rolling early bird price as an experiment. So the full price is $9.95, and we have one more price increase on August 1st. And so you can save $100 if you get in before the end of July.
Yeah, and these are the free events coming up. If you go to, I think you've probably already seen it to be here, but magicmedia.com/signature-events. You can see the events coming up. And so the recordings of the past ones are up here. We've got the origin story one here. This one will go here. You'll be able to find it to watch the replay if you came in late. On July 18th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time, I'm doing a workshop on point of view where we're going to take a single sentence, a fill in the blank single sentence around your point of view. I think you'll find a lot of fun. And it's the Puff the Hippie Dragon. That's me. And it's like a dragon's den, but I'm a friendly hippie dragon, and we're gonna dragon's den your pitch. And then we got drawing your map, the elements to get from point A to B. In a signature workshop, it's good to have some visuals, like a Venn diagram, a pyramid, some map of some kind. So we're gonna look at a lot of examples and give you a chance to do a kind of rough draft. And then Bradley's going to do his thriving in business without social media, so you can actually see what his looks like. And then I'm going to do my signature workshop, the Marketing for Hippies 101. So then you're going to be able to see two examples for free of the signature workshop and how Bradley and I do it. Bradley's is going to be better than mine because I've only done this version of it, I think, once as an hour-long thing. So lower your expectations. But, you know, when you start, it's just going to be what it is. And it'll be better. If you had the choice of doing a signature workshop once for 1,000 people or 100 times in front of 10 people, I know the temptation is to want to go for 1,000 people, but I would beg you on hands and knees, do 100 for 10 people, because that's what gets you ready for the 1,000 people. If you go straight to the 1,000, you probably blow your chance. You only got one chance to make a first impression. You probably blow it because you'll overload it. You know, but the 100th time you do the same workshop, it's a masterpiece. Okay, let's wrap it there. Thank you everyone so much for coming. Hopefully we'll get to see some of you in September. And yeah, thanks for joining in. We'll see you at the upcoming free things. Thank you, Bradley, for all your help in the background today. And thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.